going on, everybody? Danny here. If you're new to my channel, definitely hit that subscribe button. Definitely hit that bell notification for when I do pop up. I definitely want to give you guys a heads up that today is going to be just a little bit different video. It's going to be hopefully shorter video than the others. Obviously, you watched my other, my previous video where I've been taking apart Doomsday Silver's radiator and all the other junk there. But today we're going to be doing a little bit more fun. So I have these stock exhaust headers that are on the truck and they're just not cutting it. I've got this stock intake that I've got on it. It's just not cutting it. I need more power. So I've got my exhaust headers here by DNA. What I did with these here, if you look, I actually ceramic with a 15 to 1600 degree black matte paint to help protect the exhaust from overheating too badly. Trying to keep as much temp as I can down. But we're going to install these onto Doomsday, and then we're going to install the intake and a performance chip. So the intake that I have is an AFE cold air intake, and we're going to be installing that. It is an old intake that I've had for about 1.5 years now, so we're going to install that back onto Doomsday. Basically what I'm going to show you, I'm going to try to give as much detail on how to take the old exhaust headers out, put the custom exhaust headers in by DNA, and then on top of that, we're going to do a little bit of custom performance on the actual exhaust. Alright, so stay tuned. And like I said, if you're new to my channel, definitely hit that subscribe button. Definitely follow me. I am also on Instagram at Grimsons_tuning. So, but let's get started, shall we? So let me explain something real quick. And before we go ahead and we start unbolting everything. So this is a 5.2 liter V8. All right, it's a 318 block. Now on these manifolds, it's quite easy. If you look underneath, there's 2 bolts there that, you know, with the flange and everything like that, that goes up and bolts up against the manifold itself. Here we have 1, 2 bolts that need to come off. This heat shield comes off, and then there's another bolt here. It's supposed to be 2, 4, and 6 bolts altogether that come out. So if I'm not mistaken, I do have a socket in my pocket. Socket in my pocket, and they are somewhat of a fit. I might need to get something a little bit tighter, but that looks like a 13 millimeter. I could probably do a 12 millimeter on that and still be able to get the bolts off nicely. But that's pretty much it. All you do is you take the 2 bolts off the flange, the 6 bolts off the exhaust headers, off the exhaust header, and it's for both sides. And the exhaust header should be able to come right out. And then on this typical exhaust header that I just received from DNA, and thank you guys. So there's certain ways that you have to put the bolt back in, and what I'm going to do is, see, there's this bolt right here. I don't know if you guys can really see it from a distance. So that bolt right there, I'm going to try to reuse. Because it looks like one of those bolts that I can definitely use again. It might be a little bit easier to bolt the exhaust headers back up on. So, but same goes pretty much for this side as well. Like, you take this off, then there's another bolt over here on this corner. You take these bolts off, the heat shield comes off, and it's 2, 4, 6. And then again, flange, you know, and I think, again, I don't know if I'll be able to fit that there, but that, again, is about 13 millimeters there. And it should be the same thing on the other side. So, again, be cautious when you're doing a custom exhaust header on this particular truck, they are really difficult, especially at this bolt here, and same on the other side for this side of the bolt. If I'm looking directly on the driver's side, it'd be this bolt here. That'd be the difficult part. So these two bolts here on the driver and passenger side are going to be the ones that are the difficult spot to bolt back on. So best thing to do is I will show you exactly what I do before I actually put the exhaust header back on. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to skip through everything. I'm not going to show you guys because it's boring just for me to just wrench everything off. But I'm giving you guys an idea, 13 millimeter, possibly 12 millimeter if you can get it a little bit tighter. But like I said, 2, 4, 6 bolts on each side of the headers. You take the heat shield off. There'll be another bolt back here on this side. There'll be another bolt on this side. You take the 2 bolts off the flange, and then the exhaust completely comes popping right out. And then we'll install the other exhaust headers and go from there. And then that intake just looks horrible, so we're gonna take that out and replace it with my AFE cold air intake system. Give it a little bit more of air being pushed into the engine and stuff. And then on top of that, I got a performance chip. I'll put it back on. For now, we're going to take care of the exhaust headers, the exhaust, because the pipe that connects to both the exhaust headers to the catalytic converter straight down, right around in the passenger side, I have a pinhole about the size of my pinky, tip of my pinky. So, and it's pushing air, so it's got that noise, so we hate that. So we're going to take care of that. All right, so stay tuned, we're going to get started with everything. I'm going to unbolt, I'm going to take it out, I'm going to show you what it looks like before, and then show you what it looks like putting it on, and what I meant by being difficult to bolt these exhaust headers on. All right, and I'll show you. All right, now that I have the stock exhaust header on the driver's side out, if you see, like I showed you, oh, I just dropped a bolt. Oh, no, I didn't. It's stuck on there. But anyways, like I said, 2, 4, 6 bolts all together, and then the 2 on the bottom of the flange. Anybody that does exhausts knows. But yeah, so I've got the gasket still on there. I'm going to keep that gasket on there because it looks like it's in pretty decent condition. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take my driver's side, and I'm going to show you guys what I mean by a little bit difficulty try to install these custom exhaust headers in. Alright, so bear with me, just give me a second. Alright, now let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. You see, I got the exhaust header in. It's not hard to put it in. It's got the perfect clearance. Okay, so you see this bolt right here, okay? Now that's a pretty tight bolt, but they come with these spacers that I use. So right in this cluster, right in here, if I look up and around, you can see, focus, you see that bolt right there. Okay, so this little guy is way too tight. So what happens is the bolt gets kind of like jammed in a way. So what you need to do is I usually do crisscross. So I start with the back, and then I'll do the front, then I'll do the corner, then I'll do that corner. Then I usually work that middle piece, but then I have to work this middle piece. So this is what I'll do, is I'll work that back bolt first, I'll do this front bolt next, then I'm going to do the second back bolt, and then I'm going to do this bolt here. Then we're going to skip back to over here, and then we're going to try to tighten everything back up, and then we're going to leave this loose for the time being, this pipe here, because this is the pipe I was talking about. This pipe here has a pinhole in it, and I need to replace that. So I've got the other one that I'm going to be replacing with. So hope you guys like the exhaust headers. I think they look pretty badass in there. My phone will focus. That's right, I'm using my phone because for some apparent reason my camera, the SD card doesn't want to load correctly. So, but anyways, we're gonna get this bolted up. We're gonna get the other side done up. Then we're gonna get the cold air intake on, performance chip on, and then that's pretty much it for the day, guys. Well, no, not really, because I still have to take that U-joint out. We'll put that on, and hopefully we'll get everything up and buttoned. Unfortunately, I can't start anything up until I put the radiator and everything back up on the truck, so that'll be for another episode, or another video later, in the next day or two, hopefully. And well, not hopefully, it'll be done hopefully by Saturday, and then everything will be looking brand new again. But we're gonna get back to putting the exhaust headers in, and then afterwards we're gonna I'll show you what I've done so far. Then we're gonna put the cold air intake onto the truck with the performance chip, and then hopefully I can get on the bottom of the pipe, replace everything underneath there, take everything off blue and put it underneath this bad boy, hook everything up. And then what we're gonna do is, instead of running a pipe straight to the back, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run a single pipe from here, or I'm gonna try to get an X pipe and do dual, so that I could run an exhaust from each side of the truck. So, but yeah, stay tuned. And like I said, guys, definitely hit that like button. Definitely, you know, hit that bell notification. And I will definitely leave the description down below, any information on the headers, any information on the cold air intake. Unfortunately, I was able to get the cold air intake before they discontinued it. You can get the piping for the AFE system, but you cannot get the intake or the top bustle here. So basically, yeah. Hopefully, like I said, if you guys like it, definitely hit that thumbs up. Definitely subscribe. And yeah, let's get back to it. I'm going to bolt everything up and show you what everything looks like afterwards. All right? All right. So what do you guys think so far? Pretty darn good, huh? Although I got a couple of little nicks, scratches from the paint, but could always just go over it with the paint when it's in. But that's stage one. Exhaust headers are in. All I got to do now is just bolt them down. Now, I do want to give you a warning, okay? Like I said, on the other side, you have that one bolt. That's an issue. This one, same thing. Right down in there. I don't know if you guys can see because I'm trying to focus in on it. Let me see if I can get it. All right. So, I don't know if you guys can see. All right, so anyways, this bolt right here next to the exhaust is pretty much the same issue over at that end. Same goes for the rear bolt here. Okay, sometimes you can't get a wrench in. But anywho's, we're going to go ahead, we're going to bolt everything in. Then this exhaust headers are put in, they're done, they're perfectly fit. Just fine. I'm going to tighten everything up once I'm done. But there's the one exhaust header in there. Driver's side, that's in. Passenger side, those are in. And now I'm going to bolt everything up. I'm going to get down here and I'm going to replace this pipe right here, because if you notice, let me show you what I'm talking about. Right here, I guess whoever owned the vehicle before me, you see that big old cut in there? Somewhere in that cut is a giant hole. I don't know if you guys can see. Right here somewhere is a giant hole. and it's pushing out a lot of air. So I'm going to be trying really hard to take this out, and it's either I take both exhaust headers and run a straight pipe, because it looks like I have plenty of clearance on both ends, but maybe run a straight pipe and then just run it probably into the back of the two wheels. I'll probably end up, let me show you guys here in just a minute. So basically I have two of these exhaust tips here. These are 2.5 inch exhaust tips, and what I want to do, kind of set them back here in a way so that it's not in the way, or you know, I want them like kind of tucked up, so I might have to cut something and do a little bit of trimming, but I think that would look pretty badass if I had two, you know, side pipes, dualies sitting like this. So let me get your thoughts and comments down below. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna finish up with this, and then we're gonna install the intake real quick, and then we're gonna try to get the other pipe out. All right guys, so that's pretty much it right there. We've got the exhaust headers on the driver's side and on the passenger side. All right, and on top of that, I've got my cold air AFE intake system. Fairly easy to install. It's just a pipe, a bolt, and then you just hook everything up. I've got my performance chip right here connected to my air box. It goes into my airflow sensor. Other than that, pretty much just stick around, guys. I mean, you see that I'm doing the work to it. I've got the water pump off. I'm going to replace everything. The exhaust that I need for the headers, apparently when I went up to go and try to take off the other pipe, the bolts are so rusted on there that it doesn't want to come off. So I sprayed some PB Blaster. It's going to take a while for it to get where I need. But stay tuned again. If you do like this video, if you did like what you saw, definitely hit a like button. Definitely subscribe. I do want to give you a heads up that for any of you guys doing a custom exhaust on a 99 Dodge Durango, 5.2 liter, or a Dakota, okay, whether it's a 5.2 liter or a 5.9, my best way of doing that is to get the 5/16 18 by 1/4 inch bolts. They work perfect. See you guys next time. Later.